Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 9th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SEOroundtable.com over the past week. First up, we posted the big Google Webmaster report for March. Just to summarize, this past month was fairly busy. We had a couple of possible Google updates, one on March 20th, one around March 1st, and that kind of seems to be lingering a little bit. Google said the mobile first index will be expanding in the upcoming weeks, probably next several weeks. Google also started rolling out the multifaceted featured snippets. The view image search button was removed. The people also asked box was officially launched. And Google killed off blog search ping feature and changed their request indexing feature. So there's lots of stuff to catch up on. If you want to catch up on the past month, just check that out and you'll catch it up pretty quickly. This last night, Google posted about their future intentions around AMP, and they basically said they want to kind of roll in or embed into the open web standards what they benefited from and what they learned from with AMP. So basically, potentially, instead of making AMP pages, they want to go ahead and make HTML and the open web standards work as well as AMP without you having to create another version of your website powered by AMP, which of course gets people thinking, hey, should I even bother with AMP now? And of course, you have to also know that changing the web standards will take a long time. It's not going to happen overnight. So if you do want to benefit from AMP today, building an AMP ready website does help. It's not a big deal to do. And if you're about to launch it, go ahead and do it. The question is how and how long will it take for Google to go ahead and I guess change to open web standards to kind of support some of these stuff they've learned from AMP, and we'll see how that goes. Very interesting development, and it's going to be a long process until anything's released there. Google is testing another version of the People Also Ask box. This one actually shows answers. So, you all seen the People Also Ask box. This is what it looks like. And you can see here the questions, but usually you don't see these answers. So, who is the most streamed artist on Spotify? Spotify could feel that Ed Sheeran, or however you pronounce his name, is the most streamed, et cetera, et cetera. So it's actually answering your questions directly in that box, which is an interesting test. If you can replicate it, definitely let me know. Google's iOS search app, the iOS app that for Google, has now added 3 more features. One is integration with the iMessage app. So as you start searching for stuff, you could actually go ahead and click on the drawer, which is this thing over here. It will bring up some things related. You can search for something and then embed that search directly in iMessage and share it with your friends. Safari in the related content box. So if you click on the share menu here, it could bring up the share menu here. You click on Google search, and it will bring up stuff related to that page, which you then learn about and do more with over there. And then with iPad, drag and drop support in iOS 11, you can actually drag and drop things from here to there in like iMessage or Notes or whatever it might be. So Google has updated their search app to support those features. Image search seems to have an update. I'm not exactly sure. I thought this was available before, so I'm a little fuzzy on it. But it looks like if you have product schema and you rank an image search, not only do you get these, labels here, which I think were somewhat new. They had it for GIFs and stuff like that, and now the product labels. But they also give you a product filter, so GIF, HD, latest product color filters, etc. And this is all using what I believe to be product schema, which they announced months and months ago. Google announced last night that musicians that have knowledge panels could actually now go ahead and use Google Post by default. It's available to everybody who has knowledge panels. Google actually announced it literally a year ago, saying musicians and sports and a bunch of other categories are allowed to use Google Post. They just got to sign up for it. But now they don't really need to do anything. I think they just need to go ahead and go to Google post.google.com, enable it, and they have to have a knowledge panel, and they'll be able to share, just like Google My Business users could share content directly in their knowledge panel or local knowledge panel. The musicians could actually share it in their knowledge panel as well, whatever they want using Google Posts. Google said publishing content more frequently and having more content by itself in definition is not a search ranking factor. It's not a signal or anything like that. Obviously, having more content helps, but John Mueller said, nope, a site isn't a machine that pumps out content at a fixed rate. Well, it shouldn't be, at least, and So having more content isn't necessarily specifically a ranking signal. Google, sorry. So Google posted one of their new SEO snippets videos, and this one actually covers a very basic concept. Again, why does the index count in the site command versus the index report and the sitemaps report all differ? And John Mueller goes through those reasons and what metric you should be looking at and why. Again, some basic stuff, and it's pretty useful to have in a video for those who are new to SEO. Google said moving your site to a different country. So you take your server, or you take your server, pick it up, and bring it from the US to the UK. Or you go ahead and say, I'm going to move my server from AWS region in the US to AWS region in Germany, whatever it might be, for privacy reasons or whatever it might be. That generally won't go ahead and set your geo-targeting. Google says they have lots of other signals that they use for geo-targeting. It used to be the case that Google used server location as a geo-target feature. Now with hreflang, ccTLDs, and other metrics, it's no longer used as much, so you don't have to worry about Google setting your geolocation based off the server location or where your server is located. Google My Business has updated their photos help documentation. So there's not many changes here outside of, I think, like you need to verify your local business to be able to upload video images. And there's some other changes here about the types of photos. So definitely take a look at that if you're big into photos in Google My Business. Gary said from Google said that he's no longer actively checking Twitter. He said that, although he's somewhat checking Twitter, and he's just not as active as he used to be. He used to be very, very active, and now he's only a little bit active or inactive for a while as well. He said over here, I'm not checking Twitter nowadays, so you can just show up. This is talking about the event he's holding, or he's just hanging out in India for a little bit. And if you want to talk to him, you can. And I have a post about that as well. And really, really, really heartbreaking, sad news. I didn't even know if I should even write about this because it was very personal, but Matt Cutts posted on his blog that his wife has passed away suddenly, unexpectedly, and he wrote a beautiful tribute to her on his blog. If you look at the community and how they're responding, there's literally thousands and thousands of comments and likes and reshares and heartful messages from the community. And I think what really will help is, obviously, if you've gone through a tragedy like this yourself, to share your story with Matt. And of course, to share any story about, if you've known his wife, to share his story about his wife, or even to share a story about how Matt has helped you professionally or personally in the course of this. And Matt, I'm sure you're not watching this, but we're all really heartbroken over your loss, and we do hope that you find the strength and it's just, there's no words for it, but find some comfort in the coming days, coming months, coming years. Although there always will be, I'm sure, a deep void inside of you, and I do hope that you're able to, weather this as best as possible. And finally, like we do every week, we like to honor, the search community likes to honor certain personalities. So this week we honored 5 personalities: Brett Tabke, Kevin Ing, I don't know, pronouncing that right, Carrie Hill, Dan Sharp, and Murat Yatagan. And of course, there's so many people out there that we like to thank and honor and kind of spotlight to say, you guys are important. You've made a real difference in their community. So please go ahead and go to any of these posts. Click over here in the link at top. Submit a nomination for somebody that has helped you with your career or personally or whatever it might be, because these posts really do make a difference and make people feel a little bit happier inside, and that's what we're trying to do these days. So in any event, thank you so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.